I'm going to start with chromosomal basis of inheritance. What does it mean? Chromosomes are the basis of inheritance. We have studied that chromosomes, which are made up of DNA, proteins and non-histone proteins, are found in nucleus, and these chromosomes are basis of inheritance. That means they are responsible for transmission of characters from one generation to other. We'll see about introduction. Word heredity means transmission of characters from one generation to other. Term genetics, it is the study of genes, which are the segment of DNA and responsible for inheritance of characters. What is this genetic material of eukaryotic cell? Genetic material of eukaryotic cell, it is called as nucleoid, means the chromosomes, which is single and made up of circular DNA. In case of eukaryotes, some additional chromosomes are present. In case of prokaryotes, some additional chromosomes are present, which are called as plasmid. And in case of eukaryotic cell, this genetic material is called as chromosome. See, this is the diagram showing prokaryotic cell. You can see this is the chromosomal region. Here this is the chromosome present here, which is called as nucleoid, responsible for inheritance of character. In the diagram you can see that nucleoid also, this is the plasmid, which is the extra chromosomal material. Then here these are the three scientists, Hugo de Vries from Holland, Franz Correns in Germany and Erich Treschmark in Australia. These are the scientists who rediscover the Mendelian work. This Mendelian work was remain unnoticed and unrecognized because his approach of using mathematics and statistics to explain biological phenomenon was totally new and unacceptable to the biologist. So this Mendel's concept of factor as stable and discrete unit which controls the expression of characters and that a pair of allele did not blend with each other was not accepted by his co-workers. Mendel did not know the physical location of the factors in the gametic cells, and because of all these reasons, Mendel's work was remained unnoticed. But in 1900, these three scientists, Hugo de Vries from Holland and Correns in Germany and Erich Treschmark in Australia, rediscover the Mendel's work independently. So now next to that, due to advancement of microscopy, scientists were able to observe the cell division and structure of chromosome under microscope. Two scientists like Walter Sutton along with Theodore Boveri studied the parallel behavior of chromosome at the time of meiosis, and based on these observations, chromosomal theory of inheritance was put forth by Sutton and Boveri. So now we are going to see about the chromosomal theory of inheritance, which was put forth by Sutton and Boveri. According to this theory, chromosomes are found in pairs in somatic or diploid cells. What is the meaning of diploid cells? Having two sets of chromosomes. What do you mean by somatic? Somatic means the body cells. Remember that somatic cells are always diploid. Body cells are always diploid. During gamete formation, homologous chromosomes pair and segregate independently during meiosis. Thus, gamete carry only one chromosome from a pair. Before also we have studied that these somatic cells, when they undergoes gamete formation, at that time this homologous chromosome separates. If you remember, this homologous chromosome are, when they are present in pair, consist of one of the maternal chromosome and consist of one of the paternal chromosome. So during gamete formation, this maternal and paternal chromosomes separate from each other, and because of that, gamete carry only one chromosome from a pair. During fertilization, union of sperm and egg takes place, which results in formation of diploid number of chromosome, which restores the number of chromosome. Thus, gametes are the link between parents and offspring. How it is? These parents, they give rise to gametes. Gametes unite together to form offspring, and that's why these gametes are linked between parents and offsprings. Now see this diagram. Here one of the sperm is shown having 23 number of chromosomes, which is the haploid, having only one set of chromosome. This is the egg, which is also haploid, having 23 number of chromosomes. What do you mean by fertilization? Union of sperm with the egg cell, which results in formation of this diploid cell, which is called as zygote. So now this diploid zygote, what it shows one of the chromosome coming from the paternal side, other chromosome coming from the maternal side. So these are the homologous chromosomes, which are morphologically and genetically similar chromosome. Here only one chromosome is shown, for example only, but this sperm cell in case of human being consists of 23 chromosomes. Here it also consists of, egg cell also consists of 23 chromosomes. They pair together, and so we can say that 23 pairs of chromosomes are present in human beings, or 46 number of chromosomes are present in human. So what is the chromosomal theory? This chromosomal theory, it states that chromosomes are found in pairs in somatic or diploid cell, as we have seen. They are present in pair means homologous pairs are present. During gamete formation, they separate from each other, and during fertilization, union of sperm and the egg, it restores diploid number of chromosome, and so gametes are the link between parents and offspring. So here these 4 points come under chromosomal theory of inheritance. Remember, can be asked for 2 marks. Now in the further part we have to study about chromosome under these topics, under these points: introduction, number, that means the ploidy, what is the shape of chromosome, structure, types and function. We'll see the first point, that is introduction. What's the meaning of chromosome? Here it is given, chroma means color and soma for body. That means chromosomes are color bodies. They are filamentous bodies found in nucleus. So in case of eukaryotic cells, chromosomes are linear. They looks like thread-like structure, hence filamentous bodies. Remember that these chromosomes are visible during cell division only. During interphase, during the resting phase, these chromosomes are not visible because they are present in diffuse form. These chromosomes have ability of self-replication. That means during cell division, during mitosis or during meiosis, they undergo self-replication. That means their number duplicates. They have important role in heredity, as we have seen, for the transmission of characters. Variations also takes place due to exchange of segment of chromosome during gamete formation. Then during mutation also, what do you mean by mutation? It is a sudden change in genetic material. So sudden change of genetic material results in the formation of variation, which can result in evolution of new species. Then chromosomes which are similar morphologically and genetically are called as homologous chromosomes, as we have seen before also. Remember that chemically these eukaryotic chromosomes are made up of DNA, histone proteins and non-histone proteins. And what's the function of chromosomes? They are carriers of heredity. This diagram we have studied before also. It's a homologous pair of chromosome. This homologous pair of chromosome, what's the meaning of homologous? Similar in structure and function. So homo for same and logos for the gene loci, that is the position of gene. So this homologous chromosome, this blue color is for parental copy, paternal copy, that is coming from the father side. And this purple color is shown for maternal copy, that means coming from mother side. So this is one of the homologous pair having identical gene position. This is second pair shown. Again it is homologous consisting of identical gene pairs. Now about number of chromosome. Remember that in a species for particular species, number of chromosomes remains specific. For example, in case of human being, diploid number of chromosome is 46. So, number of chromosome 23 pairs or 46, it remains same for all human beings. In case of honeybees, number of chromosome is 32, which is specific for the honeybees only. Diploid number of chromosome is 32 in case of honeybees. Then this term euploidy we have to study. It is presence of whole set of chromosome, which can be in the form of haploidy, diploidy or triploidy. Okay, so what is this euploidy? It is the chromosome number in a cell is the exact multiple of primary basic number of the chromosome. Better you remember, presence of whole set of chromosome is euploidy, which can be haploidy, which can be diploidy or triploidy and so on. What do you mean by haploidy? It is only one set of chromosome. What is diploidy? It is 2n number of chromosome, or we can say two sets of chromosome. If you are going to say triploidy, there will be 3n number of chromosome. It can be tetraploid, pentaploid, hexaploid and so on. So euploidy is presence of whole set of chromosome, can be n, 2n, 3n, 4n and so on. Remember that gametes always consist of one set of chromosome, and so gametes are haploid. Somatic cells always consist of diploid number of chromosome designated by 2n. One more term is there, aneuploidy. What does it mean? When chromosome number is not exact multiple of haploid set. What is exact multiple of haploid set? If you see the diploid, it is n into 2, that is 2n. n into 3 is equal to 3n. These are the exact multiple of haploid set. But sometimes because of addition or deletion of one or more chromosome, number of chromosome is not exact multiple of haploid set. Such conditions are called as aneuploid. For example, in case of human being, what is the diploid number of chromosome? It is 46. Sometime number becomes 46 plus 1 is equal to 47. So if such type of condition is there, what happens here? There is the addition of one chromosome, and that's why the number become 47. So that condition is called as aneuploidy. If you are going to see detailed chart showing the ploidy. See this ploidy. It is of two types, euploidy and aneuploidy. Term euploidy is for the presence of whole set of chromosome, which can be monoploidy or haploidy, that is n, diploidy 2n, or polyploidy like triploid, tetraploid, pentaploid, etc. If you are going to see this aneuploidy can be of hypoploidy or hyperploidy type. What does it mean? Hypo for less number of chromosome. So hypoploidy can be 2n minus 1. For human being, we can consider it is 46 minus 1 becomes 45. It can be nullisomy, that is 2n minus 2. That means 44 minus 2 becomes 44. So hypoploidy can be of monosomy or it can be of nullisomy type. For hyperploidy, what is it? It can be a trisomy or it can be tetrasomy. For example, when 2n plus 1 is there, it becomes 47 for human being, and when 2n plus 2 is there, it can be 46 plus 2, that means 48. So here addition of number of chromosome is there, becomes hyperploidy, and here deletion in number of chromosome is there, which is called as hypoploidy. So we have studied about number of chromosomes. Now we are going to study about structure of metaphasic chromosome. Why we have to study metaphasic chromosome? Because during metaphase of the cell division, chromosomes appear properly. So we have to study this metaphasic chromosome now. This metaphasic chromosome have two identical halves which are called as sister chromatids, which are joined together by centromere, also called as primary constriction. And this primary constriction consists of disc-shaped plate which is called as kinetochore. We'll see it diagrammatically how the structure of chromosome is visible. These chromosomes, they consist of two sister chromatids. In the diagram, here we'll see this is the middle part called as kinetochore. Actually, it is centromere which consists of this disc-like structure which is called as kinetochore, and these are the chromatids. Here it is shown in the splitted form in prophase. Otherwise, this type of structure is there. This chromatid, this is upper one is the chromatid and this is the lower chromatid and this is the centromere. So this centromere, it consists of plate-like structure which is called as kinetochore. So this upper part is the one chromatid and this is the second chromatid. So each metaphasic chromosome consists of two chromatids which are joined together by this primary constriction, also called as centromere. And the centromere, it consists of this disc-like structure which is called as kinetochore. What's the function of this kinetochore? Spindle fibers are get attached to this part here during cell division. If you remember cell division, last year we have studied. In metaphasic stage, spindle fibers start to form and they get attached to this primary constriction or to the kinetochore. In addition to primary constriction here, secondary constrictions are also seen. These secondary constrictions are also called as nucleolar organizer, which is necessary for the formation of nucleolus, which is rich in RNA and protein. One more structure is seen which is called as satellite. It is short and spherical and is present beyond the nucleolar organizer. Then each chromatid in turn contains a large unbranched, slender, highly coiled DNA thread which is called as chromonema, which extends throughout the length of chromatid. We'll see it again diagrammatically. Now see, this is the diagram of chromosome is shown. We have seen here this is the primary constriction. Here this is the primary constriction called as centromere. This upper part is chromatid and this lower part is also chromatid. In addition to this primary constriction, some more constrictions are seen which are called as secondary constriction. So this is the secondary constriction and here also one more secondary constriction is seen which is also called as nucleolar organizer. So this nucleolar organizer are concerned with, what is the function? They are concerned with formation of nucleolus. And here you can see one more structure which is called as satellite, which is present beyond this secondary constriction. This is satellite. In this diagram also, this is primary constriction having kinetochore. This is one of the chromatid, this is second chromatid. Here this secondary constriction is observed. Here also secondary constriction is seen. And at the end of this secondary constriction, you can see here satellite. Now, in each chromatid, you can see this thread-like structure. This is a slender thread-like structure which run throughout the length of this chromatid. So, this is called as chromonema. Okay, so this is all about the structure of chromosome. Can be asked for 3 marks. It can also be asked for 4 marks. Okay, now we have to study about types of chromosomes. Depending upon what? Depending upon position of centromere. So, depending upon position of centromere, 4 types of chromosomes are there. These 4 types of chromosomes are metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric and telocentric. When it is called as metacentric, when chromosome is situated in the center, centromere is situated in the center. Submetacentric is for what? When centromere is situated away from the center of chromosome. That means shifted from the center. Acrocentric, situated near the end of chromosome. and telocentric, which is present at the tip of chromosome. These chromosomes, they show different shape. During which phase? During anaphase. What happens during anaphase? Constriction of the spindle fiber takes place. So these chromosomes are pulled apart towards the two poles, giving particular shape to the chromosome. We'll see how it looks diagrammatically. Now see, this is the diagram. These are the position of this centromere and this is the type of chromosome. So in metacentric chromosome, centromere is found in the center, and when they are pulled apart, these chromosomes are pulled apart due to constriction of spindle fiber, it looks like letter V. So in anaphase, metaphasic chromosomes looks like letter V. Second is submetacentric chromosome. When centromere is shifted from the center, here you can see it is present at the center exactly. In the second part, this centromere is shifted from the center, and because of that, one arm becomes longer and one arm becomes shorter, and in anaphasic stage it looks like letter L. Next type of chromosome is called as acrocentric. What's a acrocentric? It is close to the end. So again, this centromere, it is visible that it is present towards the end, not at the end, it is towards the end, and in anaphase it looks like letter J. So it is a J-shaped chromosome. This acrocentric chromosome looks like letter J in anaphase. Last type is called as telocentric chromosome. This telocentric chromosome, where the centromere is present at the end, you can see at the tip, and when it looks like at the when this centromere is present at the tip, it looks like letter I. So these are the types of chromosomes depending upon the position of centromere. Now about functions of chromosomes. These chromosomes are responsible for inheritance, that is transmission of characters. They regulate the process of protein synthesis and helps in cell division and cell growth. It also controls cell metabolism by directing the process of synthesis of enzymes. See, this term autosome is there, which determines the body characters. And one more type of chromosome is there, which is called as sex chromosome. So autosomes, which are responsible for determining the body characters except the sex. And second type of chromosomes are there, which are called as sex chromosome, which are responsible for determination of sex of an individual, that is whether male or female. Okay, so we have studied now about the chromosome, about its number. Later on, we have seen about the structure of chromosome and types of chromosomes depending upon the position of centromere. Further part, that is types of chromosomes, that is autosomes and sex chromosomes, we are going to study in the next lecture.